On November 23rd, I met with the council to discuss a rate increase in the water utility, electric utility, and tax-exempt sewer fee. The water utility increase and the tax-exempt sewer fee was enacted by the council and put in place January 1st of this year and February 1st of this year for the water, respectively. Then on December 8th, I wrote another memo to the council on 2010-2011 revenue estimates, and I indicated in that starting 2010, we will immediately be down $1.8 million in revenues, of which 1.1 is from the electric surplus. The assessment trust would be down $380,000. Police outside duty would be down $60,000. Interest income down by at least $170,000. Construction code fees down by $60,000, and at a minimum, state aid of $50,000. Who knows what that number could be? And I also indicated that the municipal surplus in 2011 will be significantly lower than 2010 by at least $2 million, depending upon what decisions the council makes for the 2010 budget. Then on January 8th, I wrote another memo to the council on the actual results for the water and electric utilities for 2009, since I had them in my hand. I also showed in the body of that memo the significant reduction in the water utility surplus and the electric utility surplus going from year-end 2006 to 2009. The water utility balance at the end of 2006 in the surplus account was $1.6 million. It went below 1.5 in 07, went below 1.2 million in 08. This year, I'm estimating it to end around $770,000. The electric utility surplus balance at the end of 2006 was about $7.4 million. In 2007, in the last year of the PSC&G contract, we ended with almost $9 million. That was intentional to use that, not to dramatically increase the rates. In 2008, we cut the surplus in half from almost $9 million to $4.5 million, and this year it'll end at $2.6 million. That's a number that I've been communicating with you. That's where I believe we're going to be. I also said in that memo that I will be recommending a rate increase higher than the 6% since I had 3 more months of additional information and the results continued to go lower. And then lastly, on January 11th, I met with the council, discussed 4 different options, and I simplified it as opposed to bearing you in numbers and paper. We just looked at 4 different options, what the additional revenue would be generated, and what the estimated surplus would be at the end of year 2010. And at that point in time, I recommended a $3.6 million, a 15% electric utility rate increase. By way of comparison, I would like to share with you also with the council and the public historically where the surplus balances have been. So over the last 10 years, at the end of the year 2000, we were at an historic surplus high of $12.7 million. We were coming off of two spectacular purchase power contracts. We had almost 5 years with Pennsylvania Electric and 2.5 years with Philadelphia Electric, PECO. So we had built our electric utility surplus to $12.7 million. At that, during 2001, we did something unprecedented. Not only did we transfer $3 million to the municipal budget to reduce property taxes, but we transferred an additional $3 million in capital. This is part of the reason why from 1991 to 2008, or 17 years, the borough did not have to bond anything whatsoever. The electric utility was providing the funds, and in this case, well, they were providing all of the funds. We were not asking the taxpayers for significant amounts of electric utility of general capital. 12.7 was the balance at the end of 2000. 2001, that was 8.9 million, 2002, 8.6, 2003, 6.5, 2004, 4.4 million, and then in the years 2005, 6, and 7, with the very, very good contract with Public Service Electric and Gas, the year-end surplus balances were 7 million, 7.4, and 8.9 million. In 2008, we entered the contract with Detroit Edison, where the purchase power costs increased 97%. So the surplus went from $9 million to $4.5 million at the end of '08. And the end of this year, we're going to go from $4.5 million down to $2.6 million. This rate increase is necessary for three reasons. Number one, I need to operate the electric utility. I can't operate it without an electric utility increase. You all have the voucher register in front of you. The voucher register, which lists Constellation Energy, $1,393,000, which was our cost to purchase power in the month of December. It's paid already. It's part of our contract. We must do that.
Would you just break out, because since you talked to the council the last time, the additional charges that are in that Constellation bill of the congestion, and there's another
Yes.
49,000 or whatever on top of that,
Mayor,
which I don't think the council may be aware of.
okay,
I know
there's three
Mr.
components.
Cody told me.
There are three very large components of the purchase power contract. First one is the energy, which is the kilowatt hours we purchase. That increased 9.6% above Detroit Edison. The next one is called the locational reliability charge. That is essentially our charge for what's called fixed cost of capacity, to have the operating facilities stand online to generate facilities to meet peak demands. That's based upon what's known as PJM. PJM is the grid of which we operate in. PJM is refers to Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. The locational reliability charge is based on PJM's 5 hottest days of the year. Has nothing to do with our peaks. So we pay fixed costs for capacity through this. With the Detroit Edison contract, that charge was about $196,000. It's now $256,000. That was a pass-through charge that was not communicated with us when we were doing the Constellation. The third charge is what we refer to as the Network Integration Transmission Charge, better known as NITS. That is for our transmission. So that will vary by usage. So that hardly changed whatsoever. The big changes were a 9.6% increase in the cost of kilowatt hours from Detroit Edison to the Constellation contract, and then going from $196,000 to $260,000 for the locational reliability charge, which is the fixed cost. So those are the two big items that have increased. The point I want to make is here we are at $2.6 million, of which we've been transferring $3,450,000 for the last several years. I need the additional surplus, number one, to operate the utility, because I'm going to transfer almost all of the surplus out to the municipal budget, number one. Number two, I need to pay the supplier, Constellation Energy. So I paid them $1,393,000 today for cash receipts that we have not yet received from the month of December. So I need to have funding opportunities, and then once again, I need to, and if I do not pay them on time, what could happen is it was in the contract, a default could be triggered, and we'd have to pay them twice a month. So the cash payments would be even speeded up even more so.